because I never followed him anyway. Thank God, you know. He taught me so many things, and so many of them were about who I was. And he never would allow me to back off of a situation or not bring my best to it. It didn't matter what area it was. He was the most supportive father anyone ever had. He got up every night with both of you girls. He got the bottles. He was an extraordinary caregiver. He was an extraordinary man to live with, and one of the things that he used to say is, you know, when I go out, I want to not ever say, what if I could have done this or that? I'm going to know. I'm going to try it. I'm not going to leave it on the table. I'm going to give it my best. And he did that. And I wish could have been bigger for him and better for him, particularly in his last year and a half. It was a challenge because we were doing things that were life-altering, and every day we had to start brand new. He didn't remember anything. So every single day that we were involved in the cases were very complicated and very difficult for me without a brain injury to keep together. And he depended on my memory, and I had to give it every single day. And I did it so willingly because he got up every single day with nothing and kept giving. He had so little, and he kept on and he kept on. And I'm just so proud of him. And he wasn't that easygoing guy. I want to tell you that. He was no easygoing guy. I'm glad you got to see that. I wish, you know, I wish sometimes I could have seen it more. But under most circumstances, if there was a problem out there, he was the calm of the problem. But sometimes if he stepped on a thimble, one of the things that happened, and this wasn't lately, but one of the things that happened that was very interesting is when we first moved to Malibu, my mother was there, and we cooked this beautiful, beautiful steak dinner, and Leslie was doing something, and I spanked her, and I never spanked any of my kids ever, and I hit her on the butt. He got so upset with me. We had this huge big tray of steak and mushrooms and everything, and he threw it into the living room. And this was a living room that was down here over there. I said, holy cow. You know, my mother's there. I said, oh, I'm not putting up with this. So I got in the car and I left. So I'm driving around the block, there's no place to go. You know? And besides that, if I don't get home, my mother might eat him alive. You know? So I run back home, and they've got their glasses tipped. We wondered when you were going to come. No more words about the whole thing. We wondered when you were going to come back and be on time for dinner. That was it. And that's the way he handled most of those things. You know, he was really, really smooth. And he was, like Lana said, just the most dignified man you ever want to be with, and he handled everything I've ever seen him handle with the highest level of integrity and ethics, always. I was lucky. I was lucky, and he taught me so many, many things. And he lived life so voraciously, and I wasn't the only airhead, believe me. We did that together. All of it. If I thought of something, it was yes. If he thought of something, it was yes. And we just passionately moved forward with the things that we thought we could accomplish. And the other thing I want to say to all of you children, you know, this is my fault. In the last year and a half, he would ask me every week, let's call the kids this weekend. He couldn't use a telephone anymore. He didn't know how to use, well, Cheryl knows. I'd have to call Cheryl to get her to go over and answer the phone for him. So it was really the most difficult times and the most proud that I've ever seen him keep trying and trying. And there's so many stories I could tell you, but this is probably not the time or the place. And I want you to hear them because there's so many, many, many things you do not know about him. I did not know. He was a very humble man. I had no idea who I was married to for most of my life. And it was a joy to get to find out. In the last 10 years of 18 years have been very, very difficult. But they were, I wouldn't trade them. I wouldn't trade any of them. I learned how he loved, which I didn't know. I learned the capacity for love that he had, which I didn't know. So, I'm gonna miss him. And I'm just grateful to have been able to share his life and help him. And I still can't wrap around my head that he's gone. You know? And we worked together for 2 years, daily. Each one of us putting the very best of what we could gather together into whatever it was that was going to make a difference. And that was a very, very special time for me to be able to contribute. And I think that was the hardest thing for him, is not to be able to contribute anymore. So with that, he was loved. He was deeply loved. And you children don't know how deeply loved you. And I apologize for not getting you on the phone every Sunday, and it was my fault. He always wanted. I would forget by then. There were so many other things happening, but I apologize. And I will always celebrate the life that he gave me and you children. You were all lucky. So